Hi, welcome builders. So today I have a special guest, and this is, going along with our series of interviews with private practitioners, with therapists who are in private practice, just about the feeling component and the feeling element of doing this work, right? Because again, you can have all the tools, but if you can't work through your own stuff and your own feelings about doing this work, then you're not going to get anywhere, right? So today I have a terrific guest. Her name is, she's a psychotherapist, Racquel Jones, licensed clinical social worker. Racquel has a group therapy private practice called Transforming Lives Counseling Center. And Racquel has been in private practice has been a therapist since 1994. So welcome, Racquel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Is there anything, Raquel, anything that you want to share about yourself with our audience just to start before I dive into the questions?
Oh, sure. Well, as you said, I've been a therapist since 1994, so that's a very long time. I started out working at the Jewish Board for Family and Children's Services in New York, and I was there for a long time. And I worked at different social service agencies in New York. And I also spent a long time as a stay-at-home mom when I wasn't working. And I've worked mostly with children in the past and also in substance abuse. And I think being a therapist is something wonderful. Something I really enjoy doing.
Terrific. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing. So, Raquel, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Well, I started Transforming Lives Counseling Center 5 years ago after leaving a job at a substance abuse clinic in New York. My practice is primarily for women of color and also girls of color. Excuse me, sorry. Yes, for women and girls of color. I'm in New York and New Jersey. Currently, there are 5 therapists in the practice, including myself. And it's a diverse practice. Um, and it's grown a lot. When I started, it was just me. And now,
Mhm.
like I said, there are 5 of us. And it's
Amazing.
something I really love doing.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's absolutely terrific. Let me ask you a question. So before you got started, I know we as therapists, we put a lot of work into this, into whether or not we're going to do a private practice. We put a lot of time and energy into thinking about it usually and planning it. Sometimes we plan for years, and sometimes we plan to the point that we never even can get to the place of bringing our dreams to fruition. So what was it like for you emotionally? What was some of the thinking and some of the feelings that came up for you before you started when you were just
Well,
thinking about it?
oh, sorry. Well, reason why I started my practice, as I said, I'd been a therapist for a long, long time. I started my practice because I was fired and I feel wrongfully terminated from the place I was working. And I decided I was never going to work for someone else again because it felt I was treated very badly. So that's why I decided to start. And I
Mm-hmm.
started out not knowing what I was doing. I was charging clients $20 because I didn't
Wow.
know. I didn't know any better. And then eventually I was able to figure out how to do things better. Yeah, I didn't really know. I didn't know what I was doing really. I said, this is what I just want to do it, and I'm going to start. And then I started it, and eventually I was able to build it up. And now it's pretty. Now I think it's pretty well known, and I
Yeah.
think it's doing much better. But yeah, it was very emotional, and it was hard to start. And also that year that I started was also the year my mom passed away, so it was a lot of
Oh,
things going on. Thank you.
mhm.
And I just felt like this is what I have to do, and so that's what I did.
Yeah. So it sounds like you turned lemons into lemonade for sure.
Yes,
And
yes,
being fired actually led you to building your dream.
yes. Because I'd always wanted a private practice, but I think something was always holding me back because when you work for other people, you know when you're going to get paid, you know how much you're going to get paid. You don't have to worry about vacation time, anything else, and
Right.
it's easier for me to do that. But then and my husband was always very supportive of me starting my practice, so I think that also helped. I don't know if I didn't have that, if it would have been as easy for me to do, but it was good to have a supportive partner right there with me.
Yeah. That's terrific. That's absolutely terrific. So let me ask you this. So you were a therapist and you were a group private practice owner during the COVID pandemic, right? And we
Yes.
know that that was taxing for us as therapists in lots of different ways, some more than others. What was your experience like being a therapist and being a private practice, group practice owner during COVID?
Well, it was very difficult. I was getting calls every day. My practice was full. My practice has always been full for a long time, and it's hard to take on new people. And but every day people were calling, really needing the help, and I would try to refer them to other people, but everyone else is also full, and it was just really taxing because everyone needed help, and it was so hard. That's when I started doing completely online because in the past I had been seeing people in my office plus online. So then now it's
Hmm.
completely online. But yeah, I was just very busy, and all the therapists in my practice became very full, and because there's so many people needed help.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you worked really hard to like fill the urgent need, you and all of the therapists in your practice.
Yeah, yeah, we tried, but it's everyone is full, like I said, so it was really hard just finding other people to send them to.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Okay, so I just have one more question for you, Raquel.
Of course.
What is one thing that you wish you knew, um, that would be an outcome or something that you learned from, just something that you wish you knew before you started your private practice?
I think I wish I knew more about running a business. I didn't really know anything about running a business. Um, I did, about running a business and about building and all of those things. So I wish I had known more about that prior to starting. I joined a lot of groups on Facebook, which gave me lots of advice on how to do things. And, that's something I wish I had known because I had no idea. I mean, the clinical part was never hard, but the business part and getting everything set up and, knowing what to charge and what insurance plans to take and all of that that was the hardest part. And just learning how to do that. I wish I had known that before.
Okay, so it sounds like you had the clinical expertise and experience, but just like you said, the business part was where you had to kind of grow and stretch.
Yeah, because I didn't know how to do any of that.
Yeah. I love the fact that you dove in, like you said, you weren't really sure about certain things. You knew you wanted to do this, but you dove in and you learned along the way, you
Mm-hmm.
learned like the business elements along the way. You knew the clinical, but you learned the other stuff you needed to know. And now you've grown to a thriving and full practice, a
Mm-hmm.
group practice. And I think that's really amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I think just learning all the different things and learning how to run a business. And I used to have someone do my billings for me, and now I do my own billing. And
Hmm.
it's good to be able to learn how to do that myself because it's not really that difficult. But when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said. So
I
now I do it
completely.
myself, and it's not so bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Raquel. If people want to find Transforming Lives Counseling Center or they want to work with you in any capacity, where can they find you?
Well, we have a website. It's www.transforminglivesonline.org. So they can look at our website, and our phone number is 347-450-5744.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much, Raquel. Have a great
Thank you
rest
for
of your
having
day.
me. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.